All right. So, everyone, welcome back to the Piper Planet podcast. This is the day one series. And today's episode is a special episode. I'm going to have a catch up talk because I didn't talk to this guy for a while with someone I met when he was still like in his teens in school. And he, after all these years, he's made an impact on the music industry in Grenada. And I'm really happy to have this conversation with him because there's so much things that I want to learn about things that he's experienced. I want to catch up with things from when we used to do music together in the past. And man, it at this time of recording, it's I know it's the prime point in the season, in the carnival season. So I know he's, you know what I mean, and running on 100 miles per hour. So to take this time to speak with me, I really appreciate it. This is Juice the Voice. Juice, how you feeling today?
It's a pleasure to be on your podcast, Piper, man. It's been long overdue, right?
Man, long overdue. And
Yeah.
it's we've done when I met you, you were I mean, we were young then, you know what I mean? We were teens still. And to see that up till 2024, you're still doing this thing in a bigger way, I'm a fan and I'm proud to see what you're doing. But let's
Yeah, man.
talk. I mean, I want to talk about so much things. I want to talk about the times when we used to do music together at some point. I want to talk about the smoke screen days. I want to talk about getting it like the dancehall reggae version of Juice,
Right.
um, and the soca industry. And
Yeah, man.
yeah, man. I mean, I want to talk about when we met. You were with Unit Five. You were one of five members of a boy band, Unit
Yeah.
Five.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about that.
Was about, oh boy, maybe about 14 or 15, somewhere around.
Mhm.
Yeah, about that age. Yeah, man. About 15, 14, somewhere around there. And
Somewhere on there, yeah.
yeah, Unit 5, boy. Unit 5 is a lot of memories, man. I remember we went to the BET talent search. That was a
Yeah.
big thing. Yeah, so how I got started in Unit 5, I was the last member to join the band. Um, I always used to be singing, I came from a family of a musical background. My mom, she used to sing. My sister, she was a worship leader in church. I've got a
Mm.
brother that play instrument, I have another brother. He sing better than me. And
Wow.
so we had a group, we had a family group that we used to sing in church all the time. And I am the one who always like looked at music as a career. And
Okay.
and so when I went to GBSS, well, from passing from elementary going into high school, I started singing like in the school, like on our assembly on Monday, you know. I remember one of the songs I sang was Fire Burn a Weak Heart from Bushman.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. So one day I was in school, and Salim Nakuda and Shimid Nelson, they approached me and they said, boy, we have a boy band and we're looking for the last member, you know. So that's how I got into the boy band. They said, boy, we heard you singing Monday in assembly, you know.
Yeah.
So I got into the band, and the rest was history.
Me and Fiba at the time, what we used to do is go around and try to find young artists to work with because this is when we just start producing and things like that. And I can remember the first time I saw y'all as a band, like as a group. It was in GBSS in the auditorium, and they were if you tell me if I get it right. So it's you, Shimid, Salim, Christopher Brown, the first Chris Brown. People didn't know what that. And the fifth one was T Gans,
Che the Gans,
Che
yeah,
the
Che the
Gans.
Gans. Yeah.
So that was the five. And I remember knowing that if I had to pick who would have been the superstar in that group, I remember saying, is either Chris or Juice? You know what I mean? Because I know because Chris had a stage presence
Yeah,
about him.
flair. Chris
Yeah,
was always the ladies' guy. He used to call himself Mr. Rudy Rude.
there we go. And like on the mic, on and off the stage, he was a star. You know what I mean? I can remember that. However, when you started to sing, I was like, bro, we sing again. Like I remember hearing it was a natural power that you had in your voice that um it didn't, I don't want to say overpower the rest of them, but it stood out. And everyone else in the group, I could see that they were everyone else, they're doing their part, but they knew this. It was almost like when you start to sing, it's almost like they're looking at you. It's
Yeah,
like,
because it's like it's funny because when they had the group going,
mm-hmm,
and like all of a sudden he said, Juice, you the lead singer, you know that? I was like, bro, I come in all your group.
yeah, yeah.
How I become the lead singer, you know? I always had this kind of shy, timidness to me, you know what I mean? Even though I'm outspoken, I always, kind of second guess, kind of doubt, So I've never wanted to be the leader of the band, but because of the way I sang and the way the passion that they felt for me, they wanted me to be the leader of the band.
Yeah, they believed in you. It was I don't know the exact timeline on how long the group lasted after that, but I can remember the BET Talent Search show. Um, and again, this is the time when me and FIBA used to be going all around the place and trying to find the best of the best. And
But
Unit 5 was one. This is also the days of the young Seneca.
yeah,
And it was
but
who else we had?
Sonaga came a few years, like 2 years after. Um, but before you go on, let me give you the story, man.
Yeah, yeah.
So we getting ready to practice for the BT talent search, and Shimon come, yo, bro, come boy, we there's a producer, he has a record label, bro. You want to sign us? So I was like, what? Producer want to sign us? So in my mind, I'm thinking New York, Hollywood, this, that. Because like in those days, I was so naive. Like I didn't even know. I thought that like the
You
guys
thought
who
you
did
make it?
music, I thought the guys who did music in Grenada used to travel abroad to record. So
Hmm.
I didn't even know that they had studios. Like at the time, I was like, boy, if I only get the chance to go in a studio, I would do this, I would do that. So now, Fame, well, we call him Fame. Fame coming
Fame.
and tell
Yeah.
me that a record label want to sign us. I was like, yeah, what? We rich. So we, we went to the meeting, like, and I saw this guy in a jacket, in a black leather jacket, and a New York fitted, Turn around, he was like, "Yo, my name is Protege, you know. I run a record label, Smoke Screen Production, so smooth, you know what I mean." So I was like, "Yo, we had the meeting. I went home and I tell my mom, I said, Mommy, we getting signed now."
Oh my goodness. Hearing it from that side of things, so crazy. Jesus.
Yeah, and the
Hmm.
rest was history,
Hmm.
FIBA, we built a relationship, smoke screen, and everything was really good. And I must say, thanks to you guys for giving me the opportunity at that young age to enter like professional recording. Remember
Mm-hmm.
back in the days, I see you have a mic with a mic stand and all them thing in the back there. Remember, we used to
Uh,
use a
the chubby
dynamic
bottle.
mic. Eh?
You remember the chubby bottle
Yeah,
thing to hold the mic and all of that?
the mic.
But
And we had a fan, the stand from the fan with a
yeah,
mop,
yeah, yeah.
um, and a dynamic mic. The mics that we use on stage,
On stage,
um,
yeah.
with the pop filter was a iron hanger with a stockings.
With the stockings on it, yeah.
We had a one channel mixer and one of them big IBM computers.
Yeah. You remember
when
exactly what
Yeah,
it was,
man.
yeah.
When we started recording, if a vehicle passing the road infrequently, we had
You
to
gotta stop.
stop it and do it all over again because noise reduction wasn't not a thing.
Mm-mm. Oh,
Pop
we didn't even know how to
filters.
use it.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Listen, when I say this is day ones, this is day one because now that you're mentioning it, the way from your angle, the way you're seeing it, it sounds crazy to me. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because FIBA, I follow in FIBA, wherever FIBA say goes. Because his thing was, bro, we doing a record label, we finding the talent, and we pushing the music out there. And in our mind, all we need is one hit somewhere in the world, and we good. You know what I mean? And if we get
yeah,
one person out, then we pushing everyone behind that person.
yeah.
And it was. I mean, we just had a dream that you know. What I mean, we just want to we busting somebody. Somebody had to somebody blowing up. So it was between me and him and Gino, and then we just say we'll do it, and we're naive, just like you're saying we make it, but we had no idea what we're doing, but we doing, and bro, at one point you say, oh yeah, boy, Juice could be that guy, you know, and no, we said Unit 5 will be that group, and then what happened to the group? Tell me that story.
Um, Life, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't anything like we broke up or anything. Like, have any disagreements and stuff. The guys graduated from school. Chris went off to college in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Shimed went off to England.
Mm-hmm.
Salem went off to university. Chadigans migrated back to Trinidad,
To
and
Trinidad, yeah.
and I was here.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody went to study.
Mhm,
I went to Tam CC,
mhm.
and that was it. Um, and those guys are having a fruitful life.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right now, Christopher Brown, he has a company, the Buckler Group.
Mhm.
They do a
Yeah, I
lot
follow
of,
him.
yeah,
He
man.
looking like that. That looks amazing. The stuff that he does over there,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Mhm,
I applaud him for the work that he does for all the CUNY colleges outside there in New York. Um, Shimid Fame. Um, I think right now he's married, living in
mhm.
Europe. You know what I mean, with his family. Salim Nakura. He right now is a police. Is a police officer in
Wait,
England.
that was what to say. I think he was in Europe. Yeah, yeah.
I
Mhm.
think he's in London right now. And Chady Gans, the last time I saw that man, he was like one of the most free spirited persons I ever saw, man, just living life and enjoying the place, you know what I mean?
So after Unit 5, there was like at that point was around the time when I kind of went my way, FIBA went his way. We still cool and everything, but it was just he was doing his own thing. However, you were part of smoke screens. They tried to do a band, well, not a band, a group, and I don't know.
The Fire
You can
Squad.
explain, but the Fire Squad. No,
Fire
Fire
Squad.
Squad was a group that you were involved with,
Yeah.
and um,
That
that
was
was. Tell me about
that
that.
in my recollection, um I remember there was a guy called Alvin. Um
Yeah.
he had some links abroad, and I think at the time they said that Beyonce's publicist was scouting for talent in Grenada.
Hmm.
So FIBA and them. they came up with a rebranding and decided to call themselves the Fire Squad. And yeah, so I can't remember myself playing a big role in it, but it was mostly like on the hip hop side.
Yeah.
So that's where all the guys on them like Gino and FIBA, Groupie, um, Black Dog, um,
Hmm.
all those guys on them. They were coming. They were like releasing a lot of rap videos and those kind of things to try to get recognized by the publicists. You know, so that's how the Fire Squad was, and as you know, everything that's come to an end,
Yeah.
and it stopped abruptly. I can't say because I don't really know what happened, because at that time when the Fire Squad was happening, I was trying to break into the soca market.
Okay. Let me before I jump into the soca market. I- This is to me when it comes to you as an artist as Juice. There was something that happened that I looked at and I was like, oh shoot, I'm gonna get you in it. There we go. That is what it is. And that is when you released the reggae single High Grade.
High grade.
Tell me about
Yeah,
that. They talk about High Grade.
high grade was great. I remember used to release a lot of soca and thing, and I
So you
remember
did soca
Caution.
before High Grade?
Yeah, yeah. We started. I remember when FIBA tried to do the breakout rhythm. You know.
Now Breakout was me.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So when we tried to do all those rhythms
That,
there and
but
couple of
High
the
Grade wasn't before that.
no high grade. High grade was 2005, and I started with Smoke Screen in 2001. So
Okay.
it's been 23 years now
Jesus.
as
Ah.
as a recording artist. So this year I'm actually celebrating 23 years in the industry as a recording artist.
Wow. Ow.
Yeah.
Wow. All that time passed. That crazy to see, right?
So I remember um the first song, the first song, the first soca song was a song called Tonight. Um,
Tonight, I wanna.
Tonight, yeah, yeah. I wanna be your boy tonight. I wanna rock your
That
world.
was okay. No, no, no,
Yeah,
no. Okay, no, no, I'm
yeah,
making sense. No, I've seen the timeline because
yeah,
that was the breakout rhythm. Dun, dun,
yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
Dun,
dun,
dun,
dun, dun,
dun.
dun. That's
Right.
right. Okay,
So we recorded
that
we
wa-
recorded that on Frequency.
we did that in frequency. That's
Yeah,
right. Okay,
in
okay.
your pops in your pops
You're
building.
right. You're
Yeah,
right.
so we
Mhm.
recorded that there. And Caution, remember Caution on them was just across the street,
They were across the street. Yeah.
right? And I remember Caution and my brother were good friends.
Hmm.
And he always used to remember them time they Caution, they really started the mixtapes.
Yeah.
So I was like, one of my dreams was always to get onto Caution. Anyway, RIP Caution. You don't know,
R.I.P. Caution.
real general in the business. So Caution used to release this fire mixtapes, bro, and my brother used to play them on the bus. Cause them times so I leave school and I'm conducting on bus, and he was like, Caution meet me one day, and Caution was like, Juice, you know, I don't really play this soca thing, you know. He said he should try a reggae or a dancehall, and I was like, all right, and I started, but what he didn't know is that I started in dancehall and
Hmm.
R&B,
Yeah.
and because people were telling me we is Grenada, soca we like, it was kind of conflicting to me that him as one of the leading DJs in Grenada telling me They'll sing soca. So it was
Mm,
what to do, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So I remember going to the studio one day and Fiba was like, yo, Juice, I have a rhythm day, but hear that. No, no, no. I walked into the studio and he was mixing it. And I was like,
Okay.
Fiba, what's that? What you playing there? He said, but I rhythm I putting out there, yeah, man like Cage, yeah, man like Boogie and them on it. And I was like, Fiba, what? I said, bro, that sound mad. I said, how come you never send this for me? You know what I mean? He said, well, I know thing. He said, well, you have something for it. I said, yeah, man. And I started up, do 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 do,
Yeah.
na 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 na, high grade, yes, yes, yes. And people was like, just stop. He said, hold on. Jog the computer and he said, go inside. And that was it.
And that was it. But
Yeah, that
I
was a
remember
record song one time. And
I remember hearing that for the first time, Juice.
yeah,
And I remember thinking, boy, we need to fly that man out now,
yeah,
anywhere. You know what I mean? It could be like anywhere. Because um I thought that would have string more of those type of songs. And
yeah,
I feel like that, like High Grade was one opportunity away from a whole different path for your career.
yeah.
Because because when you really think of it, is at that time, it's unheard of to hear someone non-Jamaican making it true. However, I felt like that song was that could have been no. I take that back. This was around the time when Tempo was just coming in and everything
Yeah,
was buzzing, and there were a
yeah.
lot of Trinidad reggae artists getting
Trinidad.
through.
I Sasha, Jam Melody, yeah,
Yes,
Queen Omega, them kind of people there.
A- and and that's why I was like, Juice is next.
Yeah. But
And talk to me.
I remember walking the bus and I hear a car coming down my Bishop Highway, blowing a horn. So when I look back, I see Laurie. I said, like caution coming down there, you know. Cause like at the time, caution car was the most distinct Corolla. Was
Yeah, the
Sprinter
crew. Yeah.
was a
Mm-hmm.
Sprinter. He had the most distinct Sprinter on the road. So
Mm-hmm.
you must know caution coming down. And he pull up in front of the bus and he stop us before ILA on the stretch. And he jump out. And he was like, Juice, what the Juice? That tune bad. So I wonder now, like, what are you talking about? Because I didn't
Yeah.
realize FIBA and them released the rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
He said, that is what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. He said, come. He turned up his system in the car. He said, listen that. And I was like, shit.
You're
You
on the mixtape. You're on the
know what I
mixtape
mean?
now,
Yeah.
bro.
So it's like, and then Caution started to play that song in in um in QS.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, I used to play QS every
Used to play
Friday.
QS.
And
Yeah.
then he used to play on Hot FM. With that, then
Mm-hmm.
those time it was Sun FM. He used
Son
to
of
play on
him.
Sun FM and QS on Fridays. And I hear people start talking about this song, High Grade. Some man named Juice sing it, and like nobody knew it was me. And then like I remember, telling my mom, yo, mommy, my song playing all over the place now, but people don't know it's me, and them times when we don't have no transport to travel around the place, and like the avenues was real slim for us, and like no social media and thing. At the time in Grenada, the landscape was real like 99.999% local. Like everything that was made in Grenada at that time stayed here.
It
Like
stayed
it was,
here. Yeah.
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 So it was like hard for us to say, well, okay, we
We
linking
didn't. We
these
didn't.
people in St. Vincent, or we linking these people in Trinidad, or what. We didn't know what to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. This is before Facebook and all of that.
Yeah, I think that was in the days of like High
This is the
Five was just coming in.
this is the MySpace days.
MySpace, yeah,
MySpace
and,
and High Five and them
and
together.
High Five, and like those platforms was not as interactive. as we have these platforms now. So like we could share the music and stuff. So High Grade came, and High Grade actually got banned on the radio.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so like because there was a part in the song where I say even the prime minister smoking high grade. You know what I mean? And the song started to catch a fire so much. I was surprised, like the conference of churches and everybody, they came together and decided, yo, we're going to ban this song.
Oh my goodness.
You
Well,
know
let
what
me
I mean?
ask you. I want to stop right here for a second. No, as someone who grew up singing in the church and thing like that, to see something like that happening at that time, hearing all of this happening, how did you feel? Like, let me ask another question to go with that. From what you're saying from the start, that means a good bit of your family members are involved in the church community and things like that.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
was
yeah.
that for you? How did that feel? Like, what was the real vibe you had?
Well, back in the days, I'll be honest with you, I didn't really have much like the support that I have now from my family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being the last child, and everybody looking for you to be this quote unquote, good little child, and and to be singing dancehall and reggae music. And at the
Mm.
time, remember, you had to take into context that at the time we had a very strong gang presence in Grenada with the Ginger Crew and the
Yeah,
rest.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
So at that time, they were more concerned for my safety, singing them kind of music and knowing what going on in the youthful space.
Yeah.
So they didn't really want me to be a part of that. That time was a dread time too.
Getting into soca now. No, you being known for that voice that you had going into soca, and mistake me if I'm wrong. This is before they had like the Groovy Monarch was as big as it is and them kind of thing.
They
This
didn't
is
even
when
have Groovy
every
Mode at that time.
they didn't have Groovy Monarch. But
No.
how is it for people like and I'm gonna group you into a group. People like you, um, I'm trying to think of like the real singers in the soca business. To an extent,
So back in the days,
it
we had people
was
like Sheldon Douglas. We had
well,
people
I
like
don't
Nika,
wanna
Nika
yes,
Francis,
Nika, yeah. So artists
um,
like you guys, right?
Men of Endorsement,
Mm-hmm. There we go. It
Austin,
was ignition.
Keith
It's ignition.
Simon, Ignition.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
How is it where and you actually remember Power Soca at that time, the tempo was even faster than it is now.
Power Soca was it.
Yeah. And that's all that was there. How
Yeah.
was it for you, like having to how you navigating that? Like, did you say in your mind, I want to do groovy type songs, or like had to jump on the train and do power soca or power soca music and thing like that?
I always did Power Soca,
Hmm.
but somehow the public, they always just wanted to hear my voice, like my
Yeah, yeah.
singing voice. You know what I mean? So I would do Power Soca, release it, and it wouldn't even get played. But it took me 11 years. It took me actually 11 years to get my first song, soca song, to be played on the radio. Took me a whole 11 years because um, we were the new wave. We were the
Yeah,
new wave.
yeah. Because you were the
Nika,
kids back then. Hmm.
yeah, Nika Francis, she had a team like her father, Brian Griffith. He
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was deep into the calypso. He was a writer back then, and he had like the links to get shit done. So Nika fell into that bracket at an early age,
Hmm.
going on to be looked at as one of the best female artists at that time and
Yeah.
everything. Gracing Soca Monarch stage when like people like me wasn't it like longer than her?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you hear we talk about like oh, the men have it easy. Not all the time,
Yeah.
no,
It was a lot
because
of time that was invested into this
yeah,
thing.
because like people don't see the pain. Like you're walking as a youth man, 16 years, walking from Dusty Highway to Monge, 2 o'clock in the morning after recording for the whole day, putting down tracks on other people's songs, and we're making a sacrifice, and my mom cussing me when I reach home. Oh, you going to
Mm.
burn them, and you have to walk home late in the night, and thing, and they don't know these things, you know. And it's been 23 years since I started. So,
And I'm glad you're saying that. Like I saw within the past few weeks that you post certain things. It's just almost like motivation for younger artists. And know that you're saying this, it's I can see why you're trying to encourage them
yeah,
because I guess
that's
you know what they're going through.
that's exactly why. Because like my brother just came from the States. He came to Grenada because he said, I want to see you. I want to see how your carnival, the things that you do for the carnival. So he's here.
Hmm.
And before that, like I went to Tortola to work as a chef, and the experience was not the best. And when I came back, I just decided, you know what, I throw myself into cooking for this year, and then come back next year, full force as an artist, compile music during the year and stuff. And but I've been seeing people like bashing. Like we have a culture here in Grenada where we like to bash the artists and the bash the artists that aren't seasoned. Remember, when we buy chicken in the shop, the chicken don't come seasoned.
Mm.
Pass through that process. We have to season them, and we believe that the way we should season them is by being crass and brash to people.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so for me, looking at the landscape on social media, and some of the things that some of the artists have to go through, it reminds me of the journey that
When you
I
had to go through those, yeah.
right. So I had always had this longing to be like a public speaker, to impact youths. So for me, speaking to the younger generation of artists and creatives coming up is my way of falling into that bracket as somebody who could be like a godfather to them in the music,
Yeah. And
you know?
I think it's needed because
Yeah.
if when we were doing music in the beginning there was a juice, there was someone like you
We had no
that
mentorship,
we didn't have nobody.
nobody.
We didn't have nobody, and it makes a difference because think about how much people who probably may have been as talented as you who drop out after the first year after receiving all this negative criticism and all kind of thing like that, and they're like, I don't want to show my face in the public. I done with this thing because let me tell you one thing. I could never be an artist. I can tell you that much. I ain't
Yeah,
have my back and broad like that. You know what I mean? Like I'll release a song and go missing again for some years because the
yeah.
minute time the comment section get hot, by gone and
Listen, I'm the only artist from Unit 5 that is still doing music
that's
commercially. I'm the only person from Unit 5 that still does music commercially. You know what I mean? And that's not to say that the other guys aren't talented too, but I was just the one who really had that drive and that longing, you know, to really stick with the music. But to come back into the conversation that we was talking about, like what it takes to really stick in the music and to have mentorship. Like right now, as a seasoned artist, I have artists right now that I mentor. Like
mm-hmm.
personally talk and stuff, and I try to keep them on track because I've seen artists literally break down. Like I've
Wow.
seen competition literally break people. You know what I mean? And I'm there with the duct tape and the splint to put them back together.
Mm,
Cause like it's been 23 years now I'm in the music, and I've entered competition for the past 14 years, and I've only made it to the second round for 7 years. And like this year is my first year making it to the finals.
wow.
So for young artists who coming up, and some of them might just have like 4 years in the game, or 10 years in the game, I'm like, bro, why you doing it? Why are you doing music? Are you doing it for the fame? Or do you have a higher calling? Do you have that
The
that feeling
passion.
inside that you need it just like the air you breathe? Because if you give up
Mm-hmm.
today, you'll be regretting it for the rest of your life.
100%. Yeah. Man, and on that note, where you're saying like this is the 2024 would be the first time getting to the finals, right? I had a conversation with um some producers on this podcast before. And the most recent one I had, we were discussing art, as in soca, the art form, versus carnival.
Yeah.
Because this is what the conversation was about, right? And you give me your input. I have beef with the concept of artists concentrating on these competitions because I feel like it destroys the artist more than builds them.
Yeah.
I also feel like the carnival as a product uses artists versus helps artists.
It's
And if I were to look at Juice, the artist, and no, I'm thinking about what you just said, where you said this is the first time making it into the finals of one of these events, and I were to judge you by that versus me enjoying your music throughout these years. You know what I mean? What does that do to you? Like, mention you have diehard fans that wants to hear your voice every year, but you know what it takes to keep doing this. It costs money to get into studios and this and that. But we have an industry that the only way you'll get money is if you win one of these competitions.
yeah, and
Everybody else,
but
yeah,
so so soca, unfortunately, for the past few decades has been, well, soca, I should say, before I say what I'm saying, soca is a unique genre,
very.
right? It's one of the youngest genres of music, right? And for the people who don't know, soca was developed around the carnival theme, right? We
Okay.
had we have calypso, and then calypso evolved into soca. Shorty and them in Trinidad, they they created the sound that we know today as soca. Soca has evolved in many different forms, having all kind of different sub genres, like groovy, raga soca. We have all kind of things. The Barbados have their own style of soca. They call it bashment. Um,
Mm-hmm.
St. Lucia, they have Dennery where they merge the soca with bouillon and those kind of things. You know, we have all kind of different subgenres. We have jab in Grenada, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just some context, right?
Yeah.
Coming back to the competition in my book, it's a good way because now carnival is exportable, in that carnival becomes a product that we put together that we can export. And exporting means the feeling, the
Go.
vibe,
Oh, there. Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So like, if for 1 year Grenada Carnival could be the buzz for in every other country in the diaspora, the following year we're going to have a bumper here. So now we have people who travel around the world following carnivals. We
Yeah.
have we have DJs that will travel from other islands to other islands to go to the States, to go to Europe, to go to Canada and other countries that celebrate carnival. And these people who travel, they have followers. And
Yeah.
the people who follow these people will take a plane ticket to go to Boston because they know that so and so is playing, or there is a big fete that so and so is in.
Yeah.
So carnival has become an exportable resource in that respect. So when people decide to take a trip to come to Grenada, to come to your island for carnival, especially now, we have a chance that somebody out there will see you. Somebody out there will appreciate your talent. Somebody out there might book you, right? You get a chance now
It's just a
to
showcase to
network.
show who you are. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the bigger scope should be for artists is the network.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
now because the landscape is open and no one country has a monopoly on carnival. There's no one country right now that has a monopoly on carnival. Everybody is trying to make the carnival the best carnival possible.
Yes.
Right?
So, go ahead.
So in my book, there's no one country that has the monopoly on carnival right now.
Okay.
There might be
Uh,
other countries that has the spectacle because of the population and the pulling power that they have. They might have
it just
the
looks
financial
bigger.
power
Yeah.
to pull off a bigger festival. But that does not mean that the small islands don't have more vibes than them.
Mm-hmm. Lem- I,
Because,
I'm I'm glad you bring up the regional approach and all of that, because I have another follow up question with that too. All
yeah,
right. I want to go into Soca. I want to go into carnival business, right?
yes,
So 2024, we had a change on certain things when it comes to carnival, right? Where the same artists who go around and they make the career, like let's say if you were to have a successful career as a soca artist, rightfully you would have to be always on the move. So a successful year for I'll just want to choose a certain, let's just say Nyla, for Nyla Blackman.
yeah,
A successful year for her would be she's getting booked all around the world.
all around the world.
Th- There's something we did this year as a country where events can't have more than two international artists at their events.
Yeah,
And I disagree with it, but I understand where it's coming from.
yeah.
And what is your feeling? But before I ask you that, this is how I see it. I see it as this: as a soca industry, I feel that's an attack on the soca industry as a whole. Because if other islands start doing the same thing, it can affect you from getting a show in St. Vincent, Barbados, or wherever it is that you may get a show at. Because well, if they doing it, we doing it too, and it affects the soca industry, not the carnival industry, but the soca, like the artists who their bread and butter is getting shows from outside of where they're from. So, as on the grand scale of things, I don't like that approach, but I get it. What's your How do you feel about that?
I have a few opinions on that.
Mm-hmm.
Might not be the popular one, but I try to see things from both sides.
Yes.
And because I also think as a person who loves the culture, and I also think as somebody who's an artist,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think that enough thought and enough consultation was done to bring about such drastic change in the fabric of the export and import of people, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
Because we talking about people, and we
Yeah.
talking about putting embargo or a tariff on people.
On people. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
You know what I
So,
mean?
but I
So
go ahead.
so it's like the timing to me was off.
Okay. Hmm.
This should have been a conversation that needed to be had in a forum like setting with not just the promoters, with the artists also.
Yeah.
Because something that I mentioned earlier, artists use this period of time to do a lot of networking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you listen to people like Skinny Fabulous, and you listen to people like Voice, and you listen to people like Problem Child, who will go out there and blatantly tell you that if you want to experience some mad carnival, go
Go to
to
Grenada.
Grenada.
Hmm. So and that's endorsements from our neighboring islands.
Come on, neighbor,
And
and these
go
are the
ahead.
people you're putting embargo on tariffs on.
Exactly. And I'll be really blatant about it. I really hate that this was done. And but but again, I don't like to say 100% that it make no sense because it I understand the approach, but um as an artist who's trying to, you know what I mean, make the carnival profitable for them, how do you like do you but you see what they're trying to do, but how what's your like what is Juice's take on it? Like yes or no? I'm with it, I'm
Like
not with it.
like the move has not benefited me in any way. It's not like, okay, we have an events coming up and we have 15 local artists on. No,
It didn't change anything.
it didn't change anything. The
Hmm.
promoters ain't going start booking a set of local artists, and then the price will change. You know what I mean? Because still
Hmm.
still I have lost bookings this year because people still want me to do shows for free.
Yeah, yeah.
People still want
And
me to continue breaking my price. Okay, like I come to you, you come to me to do a show, and I give you my price. Sometimes the price that I give you don't even cover my clothes, and you still want to say, "Oh, Juice, you're playing greedy."
it's not greedy, it's your career, that's your business.
You
That's your
understand?
yeah, yeah.
But you will
And
go to courts. You will go to courts and buy a TV for $5,000, $6,000, and Juice ain't even charging all that,
mhm,
which Juice should be charging
because you bring in thousands of dollars of people into the door.
into your door.
And you know what? That's a whole different conversation to have. And um, I don't know. The music industry. I'm passionate about Grenada music and it being where it's supposed to be, especially being someone who used to produce music and I see what artists are going through. And it's like I think artists are really getting used, and
That's
I
an
think
understatement.
it's ridiculous. But I want to go back. I want to go back to this conversation. I don't want it to get too.
Yeah. So
I want
so
to go
so
back.
back
I
so
want to go
back.
back to Juice.
Yeah.
So when was it? I want to ask about the good times. When would you say in your soca career was your best year? Like the year be like, bro, I like I was hitting the 3 pointers and making all of them. Like what year was it when you said this year was outstanding?
This year,
Mm-hmm. Tell
I'm just having like to be honest. Okay, the first time I felt the first time as a soca artist, I actually felt like, okay, this might pay off,
yeah.
is the year when I did steady jamming with Sandman. Um,
Yeah.
and that was the year that me and FIBA actually um drift apart.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was a kind of traumatic year for me and FIBA.
Oh
Um,
my.
and then
Because you and Fiba did a lot of songs together.
yeah, we did a lot of songs, and a lot of songs was unreleased. You
Gotcha.
know,
Okay.
um, can I speak candidly?
Go candidly. Let's go.
It's like at the point in time I was doing music, I was doing soca for about 11 years that
Yeah.
time. Right? It was 11 years since I've been recording. And we've been trying, and nothing happening. Right? Um, something told me check Sandman. The year before we did a song called Texas, and Sandman brought out that singing version. He brought out that singing in soca. Like I was recording with FIBA, and we was doing singing, but we was doing singing like more dancehall style.
Mm-hmm.
But Sandman brought out that singing in soca, like
Yeah.
with the way he would arrange the music. It was like something different, something bright. And we did Texas. Texas didn't get the Texas was the first roly poly. So Texas didn't
Mm.
get that forward that we thought it needed, because
Yeah.
it was a kind of taboo subject,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we didn't really know how to market it. And the next year, me and Sandman, we recorded Steady Jamming. He called me, he said, Juice, I have this rhythm. Some bad, I hear you on it. So I went up by Sandman. Sandman was like, Juice, this is the rhythm, I hear it. I said, boy, that bad. I say, he said, this is what I have on it. He already started the writing. He said, take this, go home and finish it. Came back to him the Friday with a finished song. We recorded the song, and the song started, to play. And I remember distinctly one day we were sitting in Tanti Veranda in Springs, and FIBA, he was going through this, like the same problems that we was having year after year with releasing music, and the music is not penetrating. And it seemed back then that people had a grievance towards him, because I mean, if we go to be frank, you know, sometimes he's not the easiest person to deal with.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
yeah. And I think it's just something that you have to understand about him, that he's very strong minded. And
yeah,
I respect him for it, but
yeah,
I can see where other people who don't know him like that could
yeah,
kind of, it could rub people the wrong
yeah.
way.
It could rub you the
Yeah.
wrong way.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I respect that. You know,
Yeah.
but at that time, I think one a statement I made, like we were having a conversation, and I was like, bro, like right now, like at this point, I said, bro, I want it bad. And I had there was a song that I recorded on the rhythm, and I really wanted that rhythm to drop. And he was saying, Juice, I'm not dropping that rhythm no more and thing, because yo, them and them, they stifling my music and this, that. I said, bro, you can't do that. I said, bro, I invest time in that. I said, this is the first time in 11 years that my music is actually playing on the radio. And I
Yeah. He
would
has some
love,
momentum.
yeah, I would love to have a follow-up song. And something he said to me, I won't repeat it here, but something he said to me that really hurt me, you know what I mean? And I decided, you know what? I think I'm gonna take a step back from smoke screen right now, and follow myself, you know? Because
Wait,
I've been,
so y'all never do music since then?
huh?
Y'all never did music since then?
Yeah, we did music after,
Okay, 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 okay.
About 3 years later, he called me. Um, he had that kind of there was this kind of fresh sounding rhythm, and he called me after that, and we did music and thing, and since then we haven't been like on the best terms in
It
music.
wasn't the same.
Yeah, it wasn't the same, you
Hmm.
know, cause they say once bitten, twice shy. Um, I'm a person when I commit to something, I try to go full force and 100% with the people I'm doing it with.
Hmm.
So that was one of the reasons why I stuck with Smoke Screen for so long, even
Yeah.
though things wasn't in my favor all the time. I stuck with Smoke Screen because I believed in the movement.
Yeah.
Yeah. And actually hearing the words that came out of his mouth that time, it really hurt me. So me going back years after to do a song, I had to be guarded. I had
Yeah.
to make him know, okay, listen, yeah, I'm doing this, but we ain't,
It's just transactional at this
yeah,
point.
yeah, we're not a team no more. Like we doing it, but yeah, the team part, nah, you know, because at that time it was 5 years after, yeah, it was a whole five
Wow.
years after. So, I had at that time I had music. I was doing a lot of stuff in the music. I really grown by that time.
Okay.
Still not a household name at the time, but people was following the progress.
Yes.
you know. So from since steady jamming to that time, people knew me as an artist. People will always say, "Juice, what happened to that song, Steady Jamming?" But there was a point in time within that period, not like I stopped doing music, but the passion was gone.
Do you think because that team that you had, because when you're doing something for yourself is different, because when you're down, you have someone that's up on the team that'll be like, hey, let's do this, do that. But no, you're just juice. Do you
Yeah,
think that probably, like, it's almost like a bad breakup? You know what I mean? Like, do
yeah.
you
I
think?
mean,
Yeah.
within that time, trying to find myself, I rebranded about 5 times.
You know, I have a question about that, because it was like at the point in time I was like, I don't know what to call you.
Yeah, like and that really confused the people who listen to me. you know
Hmm.
like right now I'm having that problem because we don't have hard copies of a lot of the songs that were
Mm,
released, and some of the producers don't even have the copies of that song. Like to go now and try to rename them to Juice the Voice. So right now I have a
yeah,
lot of
yeah.
music outside there that is just all over the place. you know you'll get Juice with a different name. Many songs. Like sometimes I even forget some of the names that I used to go by.
Gotcha, gotcha. Because I remember there was a few years. It's like I remember hearing a song. I was like, "Nah, that Juice," and then I realized,
Hmm.
"Oh, it is Juice," but the name I just didn't. I didn't
Name
think. I thought it
change.
was someone else. Yeah,
Yeah. There are some people who still walk up to me calling me some of the names that I changed
yeah.
from years ago.
Because it was Juice. Like what was it? It was like HD
It was
something and
Juice. It was Juice. Then I went to Admiral Juice. So
Admiral Juice.
Admiral Juice is still with me. Admiral Juice is actually my alter ego.
Gotcha. I like that.
Right? So it's like I could be scared to go on stage, but once I had that mic in my hand, the Admiral takes over.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
So Admiral Juice is actually my alter ego. So that's why that's one of the reasons why I've been struggling to really perform in a groovy manner, because I came up as a singer with it within the dancehall space, and for me, like I always have this aggressive nature on stage. So now, like this year, taking a critical analysis of my performance and looking back at some of the years which I could have made it into the Groovy finals and I did not. I took full accountability, and it's because of the Admiral.
Mm, I
I had
like that. I
I had
like
I
that.
had yeah, I had to know, I had to learn, and now like me going into the finals, I sit down and I actually had to have to talk to the admiral, you know, bro,
That
you
harsh
gotta,
conversation.
yeah, 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 you know, and that's what a lot of people don't do. They don't have introspection. They always go outside there and they make it feel like if the world is against them. Sometimes the things that's bothering you is the internal stuff. You know,
Yeah,
sometimes the
yeah,
things that people are seeing is your aura that's radiating around you. You can't see it, but when you're walking down the street or you're talking to somebody, they see your aura. And the energies is so big sometimes that you don't even know. Like you've been walking in that kind of energy for so long, you
yeah,
know?
yeah,
So I had to so this year, actually this year looking back and seeing my performance from from the semifinals, I was like, yeah, boy, Juicy was very, you know, even and that's even if I made it, even though I made it to the finals, you know, you have to be able to sit down and call a spade a spade.
yeah, yeah. I like that, and I like that approach because artists I know are very they get very emotional when it comes to they very like I don't give opinions on artists to artists, which I know is bad because nine times out of ten when I used to, they vex me because
Yeah,
I will give you I giving you I can only give you a critique as a producer type thing on the final product. So someone will be like, hey, what that tune bad, and I'll be like, yes, it is. However, I feel like such and such and such, and before you know it, they block me or something like, and then because you have to remember when not remember you know this when you create something more to your mind and you take all this time and emotional energy to create something and then someone comes in and say come out and say man I didn't like how the voice song on blah 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 that's hard to hear bro
yeah.
so
it's,
mhm,
it's true because I a lot of artists like they don't talk to me. You know,
mhm,
some of them like they don't want to come around me to to hear the critique because what they don't understand is that most of you, I have years of experience on you,
yeah
and you guys might be the it,
right
but
no
right now, but in my career, I've seen a lot of
a
it's.
lot of it's yeah and it's crazy that you're at that point where because this is what I've learned right they ain't like if you had to look at the rookie class of when you came into the game, you probably, if you look at everyone who was in the game at that point, you probably the only one that's still there.
Yeah. Hmm.
So do you ever
and
think about that? Like, bro, like
and it's across the full spectrum. Like back in the day, we had full moon, we had smoke screen. Most of the artists who used to record for full moon, these guys,
you're
these guys
gone.
are more. You don't even know these guys singing.
And
Most of
then
the
but
guys who used to sing for smoke screen, none of them is singing.
mm-hmm.
You know, like I am the only one still standing from my era.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So like now,
You have that take. You can give that opinion because you've stood the test of
yeah,
time.
I know how to coach a young artist.
Mm-hmm.
I know because there are certain things that I've been through that they're now experiencing,
They just
and
get in there.
yeah, and I could see it from a mile away. So there are some artists that I just would not give a critical analysis, or I wouldn't even say, bro, you could do better. I wouldn't even say that.
Mm-hmm.
If they come, I would just say, yeah, man, cool. Yeah, man. Do keep doing your thing. Because some of them, they come to you for opinion that they don't want. I, I,
Yeah.
I wonder, I
Yeah.
wonder if you understand me.
They want someone to just they want a pat on the back, not an opinion.
Yes.
Yes,
They
and
come for
I've
you.
learned. I had to learn that
Juice, how you find
because
you, boy? How you find I did? well, boy, you was shouting a little bit, and you could have thing, and then
They don't want to hear that.
you see they watching your school face, and they
You're
walk off
hating.
rejected. They
They say
walked off.
they say they go say you hate it.
Yeah, because in the back of their mind, they're better than you, and
Mm-hmm.
you're an old head and you're washed up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in my mind, like I have always taken the advice for the people that went before me, because something I understand early in life is that as youths, we always say we want to experience it on our own. But most of the most successful people learn from other people
The ones before them, yeah.
and the
Yeah.
mistakes of the people who gone before them. So, like, okay, if I realize that you're a person that you just want to learn on your own, you'll have a lot of hardships coming up, man.
Mm-hmm. You have a lot to
Yeah,
learn. You yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Man, listen. When you're saying that there, and I'm glad to hear that you, for one, helping people who want to be helped, but understand that not everyone wants to be helped. But
Yeah.
also the fact that you're aware that that comes with the territory where people will be like, bro, I don't think most times when what I think about the artists who don't want to be helped or don't want to hear the criticism, they're probably just not artists. They're just here for, listen, bro, I mashed up the place today and I need you to tell me that.
All right.
So realistically, you're not here for the long haul. You're just here for what, you know what I mean? Like
Right,
the
but
for the hype.
the reason why I can talk like this is because I've been there.
Yeah.
You remember I told you, me and Sandman, we did a song called Tick Sauce, right?
Yes.
Bro, I remember during recording that song, I left Sandman house cussing him. Standing,
Wow.
standing in the front yard cussing Sandman. Boy, you're this and you're that, and you're a friend this and that. And then the next week, I was back by Sandman. Over what? Sandman, he heard something in the song that he thought would be great for the song, but I couldn't hear it. And I was not open to the critique. So I was like, this is my song. This is how we go. And this is what we go do.
And you had to
Cause
cool off first before you could actually realize, oh, this man is
so me taking the song, because he sent me a demo, and I took the song, I went home, I listened to it, and I said, he was right. And I humbled myself, and I went back and I did the song. And from that day on, I changed my approach to
to
people
the
who,
creative process.
you're right, you know.
Yeah.
So you have to learn sometimes, because I was one of those people who always said that I will learn by my own mistakes. I used to tell my
Mm-hmm.
mom that, I used to tell everybody that, and I was
You didn't want to hear nothing.
I don't want to hear anything. So now I do understand. Like, I don't feel sorry for them. I don't pity them in any way or look down on them. I just know that, okay, yeah, okay, if you want to learn by yourself, I would give you that space, because I know exactly what you're saying. I've been
Mm-hmm.
there. I
You've been there.
was you
Yeah.
a few years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That don't mean that you're not a good artist. You might be a great artist, but you just haven't stepped into your element as yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So I don't really come down on them too much, because they're at the stage that right now they just basically don't know.
They're in a stage in their life.
Yeah, they're just in that in
Mm-hmm.
that stage. But there are other artists who are willing to take that type of critique and say, Juice. Like
And they want the critique.
I had a friend that messaged me last night before I was leaving home. He said, Juice boy, I love you, you know? And I was like, yo, like, because for me, I'm doing it out of the goodness, out of love.
Love for the
And
music.
and for him, because he broke down. He broke down, like he was totally broken. after the competition, and I had to sit with him and really talk and like I came down on him like a big brother because I didn't mince any words. I cussed him out. Although he was crying and sad, I cussed him out and I tell him, stop that shit. We go in and do that. And he made it to the finals,
Okay, so I know who we talking about. Okay.
right? And
Hmm.
then he messaged me last night and said, Juice, I love you, bro. You know what I mean? And that
Yeah.
shit touched me, bro. Like, you don't even know.
And it,
I,
I'm glad you're saying that because I know who you're speaking up about now. Because I
yeah,
remember, so that is the groove was bad, but the Soca Monarch was good.
yeah, you know,
And I remember seeing the interview. I saw his interview um, after the groovy, and I could see he was, you know, what I mean, he felt a type of way about the performance. But the next night in the Soca Monarch, after doing an incredible performance, he was like upset about the results from the night before.
yeah. Because
And
he was still in that emotion. He was still in
yeah,
that emotion. And like after
so
he came off the stage, I didn't even go and see him.
yeah, but think about it. His performance was amazing,
Yeah.
but he's still thinking about the night before. It's still, you know what I mean? He's emotional about that. And then to make it into the finals from the second one, like you could have, you know what I mean? Like I think that had to happen.
Yeah.
Like it had to happen that way for him to
Everything is
understand. Like,
divine. Everything is divine, and we just have to be open
mhm,
enough to understand that sometimes we don't get to choose. And I told
yeah,
him that. I said, bro, we don't get to choose. You know, the universe happens, and God put things in place for you to be in that position.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And like he didn't understand it, but I guess like him sitting down for the whole day.
Yeah, sometimes like when you cuss up Cliff and thing, you went home and you chill, and then you realize, you know, that man was right today. After you cool off, you have to cool off
Yeah,
first, and then you realize, yeah, that man was right. Yeah,
yeah,
that's an
and
amazing story, man.
and it's like after he came off the stage, I knew, like, I was convinced that he was going to make it to the finals, and I just smiled and I say, you know what? I'm not going to talk to him for the rest of the night.
Yeah,
I'm going to leave him in his emotion, let him feel however he had to feel if he wants to go and vent some more to somebody else. But I've done my job.
yeah.
And after the night is over, he is going to hear some good news. I was convinced. I was pleased with his performance, and he did what he had to do. You
Hmm.
know, sometimes in life, it takes anger and sadness to get us to do what we have to do.
Yeah,
Feeling angry is a regular emotion. Feeling sad is a regular emotion. We just have to know how to channel it. And unconsciously, he challenged that. He channeled that energy
into
into
that
a
performance,
winning
a
performance.
winning performance, because it's like, oh, show all you know. You know what I
I was
mean? All you,
sure. He
mm-hmm.
went out there
Yeah,
angry. You could see it. Like I said, bro, I said, you go up on that stage here and I go be standing up right in front of the stage watching you and supporting you. I say, I'm here for you, bro. And I did exactly that. And I was watching his every movement. And this man was so much in his element and so much in his zone, bro.
and he got the job done.
Come on.
It had to happen that way, bro.
He just had to, and
It
and,
had to
and
happen that way.
it was all him. It was all him. It wasn't me. It was him. It was him in his own head, knowing and convincing himself that this is what I have to do.
Yeah, and he'll remember this for the rest of his life. And this experience,
Yeah,
that probably would change the way he performs, the way he believes in himself, the way, because
man.
sometimes that's where other people's opinions can mess you up in competitions and things like that. Because five people sitting on a in the back there who, you know what I mean, they're just sitting there and writing numbers on a piece of paper, does not, should not tell you how good you are or how bad you
No,
are.
and that's one of the reasons why I never stayed away from competition, because I always believe that my calling is a higher calling than competition. But the competition, I always use the competition as a way to strengthen myself
Yeah,
and to better my performance level.
that's a performance. Yep.
Yeah. So I always saw it that way, as a way to showcase myself to the international market, because the international market is watching. So to make a finals, you're putting yourself out there. So you have to come and put your best foot forward.
Yeah, yeah,
It make a sense you're going and take part in finals to get the appearance fee.
yeah. You go there to. You had to go to win.
Go there
You had
to
to go to
win
put the best out forward.
all the time.
Man, yeah.
From since the
But
preliminaries. From since preliminaries, you're supposed to believe that your song is the best song
mhm.
and your
But
performance is the best performance. And every performance that you do is supposed to be the best one
the
yet.
best performance, yes. But you know what? Yes, you saying this kind of. I never looked at it that way in terms of Soca Monarch as an avenue or a showcase that way, because as I was saying in the interview, I'm almost anti carnival when it comes to soca music. But the way you saying that, no, that makes so much sense, and it you know what I mean, it opened my eye to the way I look at it. Um, because like it or not, there's a lot of artists I never knew about until semis. So it
Yeah.
is a showcase. So it changed my playlist. You know what I mean? It changed the way I listen to the music I listened to this week up until look, let me tell you this. So like for you, so Soca Party, right? I listened to it before. I knew the song before and I listened to it a few times, but I listened to it different after the semis. You see what I'm saying? Like on the, it's like, oh, okay, okay, I get it because I see you performing it now,
Yeah.
and it's
And
like,
yeah, go
mhm.
ahead. Sorry.
So it's I understand what you're saying when it comes to the importance of these performances.
It's so important, and a lot of artists take it lightly. So that's why the artists who will break down because of competition, I totally understand, because you put out so much.
And it's
You
from
put
the
out
heart, you know.
so much.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's not, it's like men not crying from the brain. Men are actually crying from the heart. Men are actually hurting
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because they put so much into the performance and into the whole emotion of getting through, you know. Men put out. So when you
yeah.
hear artists come out and say, bro, I broken, bro, this shit, I
It's
can't take no more.
a real feeling. They
I
feel that way.
telling
Yeah,
you. And people don't understand that. And they keep saying, oh,
they
this man need
cloning you.
this man need to do this or this man need to do that. Bro, I could tell you 99% of these people who's speaking about artists and the way they handle competition could never do what the artist doing.
Yeah,
And if
I
you ask them personally if they could go up on that stage and do that shit, they will tell you no.
I wanna ask you. I want to bring up something when it comes to also you as an artist.
Yeah, go.
This is a question because what you're saying is it makes a lot of sense until you get on that stage. It's a whole different thing. I
Different
remember
ball.
years. I remember years ago. This was had to be about 2010 or something like that.
Mhm.
I was doing some like on a stage. I was doing back vocals for Small Pin at the time. Small Pin in a show.
Island Daddy.
Island Daddy, no, but at the time he was going by Small Pin, and
Okay.
we were doing, and I had to do back vocals, and that is when I realized, or even being a like you do a lot of this, but even being a back vocalist is, bro, that's a challenge, bro. And
Man.
throughout the years, I've seen you, people like you, Lauren, Tamara, all of them been doing a lot of back vocals and things like that. And I would know when y'all on the mic because y'all have a distinct voice. Do you think that that plays like it's and doing being a back vocalist is, other than it just being like a side hustle, it is more of a service. I'm doing this for the culture. Um, do you think that that helped a lot?
I, I've been doing background vocals since before entering competition,
Yeah,
right? And background vocals, it does help you as a vocalist,
yeah.
right? But some artists could get caught up in that background vocal spectrum because I've did background vocals for the past 15 years and I stopped in 2022
Mm,
because I realized that I had the mindset that, uh, if you don't make it to the finals, you can always go and do backups and make that money,
yeah, yeah.
right? And I realized that that mentality was actually hindering me for being a
Being
success,
being the best you.
being the best me, because there was always a next option.
And not only that, at the night of competition, when you're supposed to be doing competition, you thinking about your job. You thinking
Yeah,
about, I had to back up this guy,
this
back up that
guy.
guy. And by the time
Yeah,
you hit the stage, you tired.
man. You know how many artists call me, Juice, boy, um, you're the best. Boy, I needed to come and do this. But and I was like, bro, I in competition too. What kind of disrespect is that? You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Don't call me for backups, bro. I competing against you and you calling me for backups. That mean you seeing me backing you up on the final night. When I see
Mm. That
myself
says a
competing
lot, does
with
it?
you,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And like these
And you
guys never.
labeled yourself that because you did it
Yeah.
so long. That's all they
I
see you
remember
as.
I remember one year and in 2022, 20 no 2021, Natty from Westways. He make a statement to me and that's a statement that make me stop doing background vocals. I remember coming off the Soca Monarch stage and Natty was like, yeah, Juice, good performance. I think that was the last year in competition. He was like, good performance, Juice. I will see you in the finals, but as the best backup singer in Grenada. Bro, that shit hit
And
me.
that was it.
That
That was it.
that shit yeah, that shit hit me like a ton of bricks.
Wow.
And and my perspective was on that, how I took it. At the time, like in that instance, I felt dejected. And then I sat because I'm a guy, I like to do a lot of introspection. I always
Yeah.
in my head.
Gotta sit and
So
think, yeah.
so I was like, you know what, Natty just tell me there? Natty just tell me that Juice is a bad artist, but you're in the wrong position. You need to focus on yourself.
On Juice the
So
artist.
yeah, I didn't take it negative, and that's when Juice the Voice was born.
Ooh.
In 2022, because 2021, the rest of the year, I was thinking, what what is unique about Juice? I say, yeah, Juice is a cool person, Juice this, Juice that. But what
Hmm.
stands out about Juice
The
over
voice.
all other artists? And in the back of my mind, I hear like a little child say, your voice.
Mm-hmm. It's the voice.
And Juice the Voice was born. And I said, Juice the Voice? I said, what? That sounds bad, boy. I said, Juice the Voice. Juice the Voice. And I started repeating it and I just fell in love with the name. And I realized that Juice the Voice was not
Wow.
just a name, but it was actually the person I am. I am Juice the
Yeah.
Voice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
And
mean?
that's what, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm able to
I love
sing.
that story.
I'm able to sing. I'm able to chant. I could sing J. You know what I mean?
Not only that, but you can also speak.
Right. And so I actually have a voice that is relevant in the space. Because when I
Mm-hmm.
speak, like now, because of my years of experience and people actually give that credit to me, I actually have a voice in the space that people will see as relevant. So when I speak, people will listen. People will take it into consideration. There will be the people who will say, oh, he always talking or whatever. But for the people who matters,
It
there are
will hit
people
the
who
ears that
actually,
it's supposed to. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
like that.
yeah, man. So that's a story of Juice the
Of
Voice.
Juice
That's
the
how Juice the
Voice.
Voice was born. You know,
That's an
just
amazing
figuring
story.
who I am
Mm-hmm.
and what I need to do.
Listen, I like that story. But I have one last thing I want to speak about. And we kind of spoke about it. And I want to talk about Soca Party
Yeah,
because I like the song as a competition song, but I also like the song as a song. And this is what I mean by that. There are certain songs that I would listen to that give me the vibe that, because I'm always looking at it from the business side of things, that I feel like that is one of them songs that could take you around the world.
yeah,
What is? I mean, the last time I spoke to you, I don't know if you remember this. I came back home a few years ago, and we talked for a second, and I was like, bro, because I hear in Atlanta and thing, we don't have people, artists don't come here as much as they'll go to New York or Canada and things like that. And I was like, bro, I had to see you up here, bro. Like, and
okay.
those are the type of songs that does that.
Yeah.
What I mean, doing a song so big, yo, like, what's the plan? Like, what can I expect to see?
So remember earlier on I told you I went to Tortola, right?
Yes.
I went to Tortola to work as a chef, and the experience for me over there was borderline traumatizing for me. When it came to the whole experience of me going over and working, and I came back to Grenada very dejected and heartbroken because I put a lot into it and it didn't work out the way I thought it would work out. You know. So when I came to Grenada, I actually said, you know what? This year I'm not going to do any music. I said this year I'm going to focus on myself, start my business, and compile music and release in a big way next year. And God had a different plan. So Adigan messaged me. He messaged me. He had a rhythm called the Kwasa rhythm, but I didn't get to go on
Mm-hmm.
the Kwasa rhythm because at the time my head was still in that space from Tortola, and I couldn't focus. I couldn't write. So I ended up missing the opportunity to go on the rhythm. But he said, Juice, he said, this year I just have a feeling for you, and I will send that rhythm. I have another rhythm, I will send it for you. He said, do something on that rhythm. I hear the rhythm, and in my mind, I say, boy, that rhythm nice, and boy, it's not the Kwasa rhythm, boy. I really wanted to go on the Kwasa
You want to be
rhythm.
on the Kwasa rhythm, yeah.
Yeah. And when I heard the rhythm, boy, I sit down and I listen to the rhythm, and the rhythm come. Da, 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 da. It came so organic. The words came. The words came to me like nothing could ever sweeter. Boy, mama. And I said, nah, that is it. And I decided to write the song. I write the song, I wrote the song, went to the studio, put on the song. When I brought the song in the studio, the peck was like, Juice, you have a hit on your hand here. I said,
Yeah.
well, boy, I said, you sound nice. I said, let me hear what the people saying. And them times so I was still in two mind. Like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even, I wasn't even, I didn't even have a plan. And to tell you the truth, like up to this day, I don't even have a plan for the song. because
So
like
it was just organic. It just did it, and it
yeah,
became what it became on its own.
yeah, I'm just riding the wave, man. And like I remember speaking to a producer, telling him, I said, bro, I said, and that's after Soca Party. That's before, like a few days before Soca Party release.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, I said, bro, I just having fun, So I said, this year I just having fun. And he was like, Juice, you having fun? When man outside here taking this thing so serious, man won't take it serious. You ain't going nowhere with that. But best you don't do music, best you just stop. I was like, bro, how you could tell me that? I say, I did in this music 23 years now. I say, I play music longer than you. I say, even before you was dreaming of doing music, I was in it. I say, you don't know what I go through? And I brought him back to the days when I used to be walking from studio after 2 and 3 in the morning. I
Yeah.
said, yeah, I stressed out, bro. I said, you have no idea. I said, so leave me alone and let me have my fun. And this guy
Mm.
gets so vexed with me, walk out on me and thing and this, that, that. When I made it to the semifinals, he was the first person to message me and ask me if I need an APC.
Because he
And I,
remembers that conversation.
and I was like, bro, I already have my APC. My producer believe in me and he record me. He's the one that doing my APC. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
one after performing the preliminaries, somebody come up to me, Baraka. Baraka came up to me and he said, Juice, he said, I remember you tell me you're having fun. And he said, I ain't gonna lie to tell you. I can see you had a real fun on that stage.
Yeah. Yeah. It did. Yeah.
And it's a
I'd see that.
mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just decided I'm not gonna stress out myself, bro. Cause it what I will, I'm going to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
This year I'm going to enjoy myself and let loose on the stage and just do what I'm accustomed doing.
And it worked.
Yeah, bro.
And it worked. But
So
yeah, man, Soca Party. I want to see. I think I feel like so. This year is a new stepping stone. Even though it's so much years you've been in this is a new stepping stone. And no, hearing the story from you, it make me a bigger fan of Juice the Voice. And I think that story is like your story from what you said from beginning to know. I think is very inspirational for the younger guys in Jude. And I would say this: keep telling that story, but keep having fun.
yeah, man.
And I really hope to see like it continues to go like this. You know what I mean? Because I remember the beginning. And to see where you are now as a fan, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm proud to see what you've done, but I know that there's a big wall out there, universe at this point, because I don't know if them aliens will be coming through listening to our music just now. I don't know.
Let
But
me
you
tell
know
you
what I mean?
something.
You see, yeah.
I just want to say, like, before you finish,
Hmm.
like next year for the upcoming season and thing, like people are going to get totally different appreciation. They're going to have a totally different appreciation for Juice after the finals. You know what I mean? Because even though I'm having fun, right now the gloves are off. This is what I've been praying for a long time to showcase myself. And for me, it's all about the show. It's all about the showcase. Because Soca Monarch, Groovy Monarch is not the pinnacle for me.
Hmm. It's just the
Mm,
diving board.
this is a shit that I've been asking for a long time. And I believe when they say speak your shit into existence,
Yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? So, whatever the outcome, I will feel like I've done my job.
Just give the people what they coming for.
That's what
I like
Yeah,
that.
man.
I like that. Juice, Juice the voice. Thank you
Juice of-
very much. But I know there's more to go. So I
Thank you
know
for
we have a next conversation. But thanks for
yeah,
having a
man.
conversation with me.
Yeah, man. Maybe we
Yeah,
should have
man.
a conversation after the finals.
After the season, we need to have a follow up. So we will talk. We will talk.
Yes,
But
man.
thanks again, man.
Yeah, man. Bless up,
Yeah,
my man.
man.
Thanks for having me and continue doing the good work you're doing, man. It's not regular artists like myself get a chance to tell their story. So because the same life that you saw, you know how many people messaged me and was asking me to do a part two.
But that thing was so inspirational. You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
tried to do it, but every time I want to do it, something happening, and I
Yeah.
just have to stop, and the vibe's not flowing, or something happening. I just can't be here. I had to be there, and this, that, and that. So, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to tell my story. And my story
Yes,
is
sir.
not done yet. This is just the
It's just
second
beginning.
half. Yeah.
There we go. All right, man. But thanks again for coming on, man.
All right, man. Thanks.
Yeah.